A straight highway leads to the foot of a tower. A man standing at the top of the tower observes a car at an angle of depression of 30 degrees. 6 seconds later, the angle of depression changes to 60 degrees. If the speed of the car is constant, find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from the second position. That is, when it has come to that 60-degree depression position, from there, how much time it takes. But we don't know where is the car at the 60-degree position. See, where the confusion will come, we have to make that very clear. See, initially, suppose I take this as the tower and this is the base or other road. Okay. Now, initially, the person standing here, so his angle, suppose the car is here. I suppose let us have the tower as A, B with some height H. Okay. And he is looking at the car at this position. Okay. And say, let us put it as C. The car is there. What is the angle of depression? Angle of depression initially is 30 degrees. No problem. This is not the problem. So, if that is 30 degrees, I know this is also 30 degrees because this is line of sight. This is the road. They are parallel to each other. So, this makes it a pair of alternate angles. So, I know that is 30 degrees. Now, what does the question say? The angle of depression changes to 60 degrees. But nowhere it is mentioned that the car is coming towards the tower or away from the tower. We have no idea. It is not directly given in words. But we should realize with our logic and knowledge of the change of the angle of depression, how it changes. As the car comes towards or as a person comes towards anything, the person who is at the top will have to bend his head more to look at the car. So, as and when he bends its head more, the angle of depression changes and increases, correct? So, at a farther away places, the angle of depression is less. As the body starts coming closer and closer, the angle of depression increases. You can just see that with, at home itself, you can sort of find out. Look at the thing that is far away. Look at the thing that is close to you. So, you bend your head more to look at the things that are close to you. So, the person standing here will have to bend his head more. The more he bends his head, the angle of depression increases, correct? Because that's the angle between his head position and the parallel. So, since it has increased, that means the car has come closer, not gone away. You understand that? So, what happens is, this is the diagram that is more important, because once the diagram is correct, we know how to calculate. They are all right angle triangles, very simple to calculate. But the problem comes when we are not sure where is the second position. Should I mark the second position here or here? That is important. If I mark it here, my angle of depression increases. And that is what the question says. From 30, it has become 60. Okay. So, this must be the correct position and not somewhere here. If I mark it here, the angle of depression reduces. It will become less than 30, 15, 20, whatever it may be, which is not the question. So, understand the question properly. By drawing it here, you can still find the distances. Everything is fine, but the answer is finally going to be wrong. Okay. So, now we know this is the point the car has come after 6 seconds. Okay. There is another problem with this is that we have always been calculating distances. Nowhere we have used time, correct? So, suddenly a time is given. So, what will I do with that time? That is okay, because we know the car's speed is constant. So, your d by t, that is distance by time, is constant. So, the time taken to calculate travel this distance, suppose let that be a d1 and let this be d2. Suppose this time is t1 and this is t2. Then your d1 by t1 is the same as d2 by t2, because the speed is constant. When the speed is constant, your the distance and time are directly proportional to each other. More the distance, more the time, correct? So, your d by t is constant here. Here also d by t is constant. So, I can say that cd by t1, the t1 is how much? 6 seconds. So, I can say that I know cd by 6 seconds is the same as db by t2, and this is what I have to find. T2 is what I am supposed to find, correct? That is what it says. Find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from the second position. And now I have fixed the second position. That is very important for me to fix the second position. It is not here, but inside. That is the first thing I have to know. And once I know that, I know this ratio, this distance by this time is the same as this distance by this time, because the speed of the car is constant. So that's an important indication. Okay. So I know this. I can find CD. Can I find CD directly from the right angle triangle? No. So I have to do some manipulation there. DB I can find. Okay. So let me first find CD and DB and then I will put in this equation. Once I know these two, I can easily find T2, which is what I am supposed to find. So we will keep that pending for the time being. So let us find CD and DB separately. So what is CD actually? CD is nothing but BC minus BD, correct? So now we have two right angle triangles. Can you see that? One is the small one and one is the bigger one. Bigger one is ABC, the small one is ABD. So for both the right angle triangles, we can easily write the relationship between the angle and the side and the base, isn't it? Your tan 30 or tan 60. Okay. So for the triangle, say let me write for triangle ABD. So in triangle ABD, it is the smaller one. So I can write tan of 60 degree is equal to H by BD, correct? That is correct. So I can say that tan 60 I know it is root 3. So root 3 is equal to H by BD. So I need distances, BD is equal to H by root 3. So that is the first relationship I got. Why I am going for distances? Because that is what I finally needed. I got this relationship, I need this, I need that, that's all. So I got the first thing, which is BD. The next one I need CD, I cannot get it directly. So I will go for the bigger triangle and then I will come to that. So in triangle, what is the second triangle? ABC. I have a tan of 30 degrees is equal to H by the base is BC. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3 is equal to H by BC. That will give me BC is equal to H root 3. So this is my second one. Correct? Now let us see how we can substitute these values here. So this is no problem. BD or DB I got it directly, H by root 3. But this CD I have not got it directly. I have to find CD value with respect to this BC and BD because the other two values I know. Correct? So let me find CD. What is CD actually? CD is nothing but BC minus BD. Correct? So I know BC and BD both very clearly it is given. So BC is, if I substitute the values here, CD by 6 is equal to BD by T2. I have just changed this to BD. Okay. So that will give me BC minus BD, which is CD. So where is BC? H root 3. H root 3 minus, what is BD? H by root 3 by, what is the denominator here? On this side by 6 is equal to BD. Where is BD here? H by root 3. So H by root 3 divided by the time T2. So the numerator itself is a fraction divided by the time T2. If you see that there is an H here, there is an H here and there is an H here. Both the numerators will have H. So I can really remove that, and that was really the reason why this value of H was not given. So when you start the question, you realize there is no tower height is given. How am I going to find? Whenever something is not given, please understand that it is given for the only reason, such a thing, that it may end up getting cancelled. Okay. So I can cross multiply and get the answer. I can just literally cancel this H and that, all the 3 H. So whenever something gets cancelled, it means it's leaving behind 1. Okay. So this is root 3 minus 1 by root 3. So I have got root 3 minus 1 by root 3 by 6 is equal to 1 by root 3 by T2. Okay. So then now I can easily, 1 by this is root 3, sorry, root 3. Okay. And now if I take 6 on this side and divide by root 3, so I can even write it this way, it's root 3 minus 1 by root 3 divided by 1 by root 3, I am just cross multiplying, will give me 6 by T2, just cross multiply, because this is easy for me to solve. So 1 by root 3 means I multiply by root 3, correct? If I take a denominator with a fraction like this, it goes to the numerator with the reciprocal of that. So that will give me root 3 minus 1 by root 3, and the denominator has become only root 3. Look at this, 1 by root 3, it goes to the numerator with only root 3 is equal to 6 by T2. You can multiply this, root 3 into root 3 is 3. This root 3 into root 3 gets cancelled, so leaving behind only 1. 3 minus 1 is equal to 6 by 2. So 2 is equal to 6 by T2 will give me T2 is equal to 6 by 2, that is equal to 3, what? It's seconds, since we have taken everything as second. So this is also seconds. Read the question properly. If it says what is the total time taken by the car to reach to the foot of the tower, obviously the first 6 seconds also will be added, and then 3 added to the 6 will give you 9. But here the question says what is the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from the second position. So I am talking only about this time, which is T2. So the answer is only 3 seconds. So important for us to understand how we make the diagram. The diagram is very important for us to understand logically. The entire thing, if I had taken to this side, everything would have gone wrong. Correct? So in which case we must realize that as things come closer to you when you are at the top of tower or building or whatever it is, if anything is approaching you, the angle of depression increases. So since it has increased from 30 to 60, obviously the car has come much closer to you. So from C it has come to D. So this is a small thing we must realize when we are making the diagram.